they say happy birthday to you?
I wish you happy birthday, Sienna. Happy birthday, Sienna. Wave if you can hear us. Awesome, guys. Well, special guest for us is the amazing Donna Reed, who can do script and role play practice in multiple languages with proficiency and excellence unfound anywhere in the marketplace.
Wow.
And she let me borrow her sold sign once, so she's pretty neat in my book.
Yeah, awesome. Morning, you guys. All right. I don't know. Who's Martin CEO's IP?
Mara.
Martin.
It's Mara.
Yeah, it's Mara. Mara and Dwayne put together.
Oh, hi, Mara.
Yeah.
I won't hit you though.
All right, so Dan asked me to help with this or do this, and to be honest, you know, I haven't been on a lot of these calls, and I'm not the best script person in the whole world. So I decided I was going to switch it up and just do a Donna thing, which is what I do. So there is a couple things that I wanted to say that I had mentioned in one other class, and that was when somebody was trying to reduce your commission. Jody, do you remember what I said that day? I said instead of calling it a commission, what we said we were going to call it?
Oh my goodness. I don't.
Professional fee.
Yes.
So you're working with some of the richest people in the world who you know own 3 houses and have way more money than you, and they're trying to get you to reduce your commission when you sell their $2 million house. And the script and the piece of that I took out of it took a few weeks ago was almost making a joke out of it and saying, really, Dr. Brown, I never asked you to reduce your professional fee. Would you really ask me to reduce my professional fee? And I liked that because professional fee to me sounds so much better than a commission.
I love it.
So simple little thing. And yesterday, did anybody see the post? So the whole thing about this I want to say today is that words matter. I have a brother who is as different from me as you can possibly be, born into the same family. And I told him one time that I was going to tell a contractor that he needed to get something done. And my brother picked up the phone and called me from Kansas and said, you're going to tell Jose? Don't you have to ask him? Isn't he the contractor? You have to ask him what he's going to do. And I said, Dan, I talk to Jose all the time. And my brother looked at me through the phone and said, Donna, words matter. And it made me think a lot. He works in financial planning, and every single thing he does, the words matter. Not unlike a broker who has to be careful with every word, and they help to guide us with what we say and what we write and how we do it. So part of what I thought might be fun to do today, did anybody see my post on Keller Williams Southern Arizona yesterday about the house for sale on River Road?
Yes.
Unmute yourself if you saw it. Robin, you're shaking your head. Do you drive by? Unmute yourself for a sec. Do you drive by that? Do you see that property?
So I haven't driven by it, but I looked on the map and I read the MLS, and I'm so interested to hear about this and how you would strategically, using words that matter, market that to the right person.
Did anybody think about that? Has anybody seen it that actually thought about how you would market that? Okay, so
Yeah, I didn't see it. I just saw your post, and so it's also interesting to me. You caught our attention. That's why we're here.
okay, well, one of the things that got me, I fancy myself a pretty creative writer. And yet when I go to put listings in MLS, I write 3-bed, 2-bath. I look at a house and I'm like, yeah, looks like every other one. Richmond American build it. It's got the same lights, got the same Formica, bleh, you know, and I don't know what to say.
Right.
So, so then we come up with these houses that are challenges, and I'm going to get back to River Road, but I'm going to tell you a couple of things that came up in this class. It's talking about getting a listing in a city of a first floor townhouse that backed to the corner of the wall and got like no daylight. And everything on the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth floor was selling really well. And this one had been on the market with 2 or 3 agents. The agent that took it over used the idea about what buyer is going to buy this house. When I am fishing for the fish that are going to buy that house, who will it be? And they ended up writing copy about, do you work all night long and wish that the bright Arizona sun wasn't coming into your house at 5 in the morning when you were trying to sleep? Do you wish? They marketed it to a swing shift worker who didn't want daylight in their house in the morning. And they sold it like 5 days after they got the listing. So it was total thinking outside the box. I have one right now coming on the market in Meadowbrook. It was built when River Road wasn't really big and busy. And now it backs to River Road. And so I've been playing with this in my brain. What are the words that I say that make it still look as appealing as the ones that don't back to River Road? So this one that's on, I don't even know that I have an answer for it. The one that's on River near our office, it's one of the original ones in town. I haven't been inside. It probably needs a boatload of work. I think it was built in like the 1920s, the listing said. So River Road was probably a dirt road, because I know that Grant Road was still a dirt road in the 30s and the 40s, headed over towards Country Club. And I think that and I'm going to ask you, and you guys can unmute because I don't want to just talk. Who would want to buy a large piece of property on River Road, close to everything? Dan's raising his hand because it's at like $375. It's not inexpensive. What would that be used for? Would somebody keep it as just a personal residence, or what would they use it for?
Commercial.
Commercial.
Zoning.
Highest and best use.
Assisted
Right.
living.
Assisted living? Oh, that's
a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that.
So this is where somebody needs to write, as if you were getting one of the original Adobes in town or something. They're rather than what's written there right now, in my opinion. Or if I was going to do a flyer, own a piece of Arizona's history. Make it your own. Bring in your business. I personally, when you look at it, the house is kind of to your left as you're going, and then there's what looks like maybe chicken coops and cattle. I don't know what they were. I don't know what those buildings were. But a massage therapist. What if I was somebody that wanted to have a, what are they called? Like a tranquility garden, or well, you guys, I can't think of the word where you walk in circles, a labyrinth. A labyrinth. What if it appealed to the person who was a little bit more hippie gypsy, and they wanted that old piece of history, and they wanted easy access to River Road to First Avenue, because they were into eclectic. It's going to take an out of the box person, right? It's not going to be, oh, I have 3 kids and I want to live on River Road because that's convenient. You know, the average person isn't going to live there. So anyway, so for me, that I think right now, because I have a friend looking for a place for a massage business, I've thought about this. And she's kind of always got, she probably has lava lamps, you know. So she's got all those things, and she loves the desert, and she feels like her spirit guide is a dragonfly. So how cool could it be to have something with dragonflies out around where that opened that would draw people in? And we have to do our marketing that way. So
yeah, I would put it as a possible rezoning. And if I was the listing agent, I would be down at the Planning and Zoning Commission, and or today calling the Planning and Zoning Commission and asking, what is it zoned now? Can we rezone it? What kind of businesses can we have? You know, parking is limited. So is it a single proprietor? You can't market something to put in a business unless you know. So always put a caveat, possible rezoning.
Right.
It's zoned for it though now. It's transitional. It's TR zone in the city. It can have businesses.
Okay, so it just depends then in what size and what kind of business. It'd be interesting. Does the listing say if it's on septic or sewer? Do you
I don't
remember?
know, and I don't have it printed out in front of me. Are you looking at it, Robin?
Look,
Because that would be a big issue, whether it could be medical or not, because they don't really allow like dental or medical, anybody with waste, go into a septic system. It needs to be connected to sewer. So that would determine, you know, some of the
That's a
businesses
good
that
question.
could
It probably
possibly-
was septic. It probably was septic back in the day because a lot of those old places on River Road were
I
septic.
know. Yeah. That's what I was wondering, is if they ever connected it.
Yeah.
No sewer.
It's
No
on
sewer.
septic?
It's on septic.
Yeah. So that'll limit what can go in there as well. And is it,
Get it connected.
can we connect? You know, that would be another question as a listing agent that I would ask is, can we connect it to the sewer, and what would that, you know, fee entail?
Yeah. So how many of you, is there anybody on here who hasn't done a listing yet? Is there anybody on the call who doesn't have? Okay. Well, Teresa, from what I've just heard,
Yes.
you're quite good at your advertising. You're already marketing. I don't even have my website done. I took the class on doing the marketing and I don't have the freaking website done. So I can't do the marketing because I don't have, you know, a place to go. So God bless training for command. But if this was your listing, you know, with the way your mind seems to be creative about the flyers and things you're doing, you could come up with something really unique. And through command, you know, feed that out and tag those specific people. And so for those of us that have had listings, has anybody ever had one that, you know, just stayed on the market 100 days longer than everybody else's? and what ultimately was it only price reduction? Because that's what ends up happening, right? We say, oh, we got to lower the price. So is there been anything spectacular or magical that you've done related to your marketing for those difficult things?
I think it's really important when you have, I have a client in escrow, husband and wife looking for a second home, vacation home. And so we were looking and they're like, oh, well, we want that third bedroom. We want that third space. You know, we want that den, that office. And so we found an incredible home up in Dove Mountain, not the 55 plus community, but just the regular gated community, one of the gated communities up there. And the listing was listed as a 3-bedroom. But when you walked in the front door, right to the right were double French doors with a small room and a closet and a window. That was the 3rd bedroom. Totally right on the front of the house. Nobody would put a kid there. It was way away from the back of the house where the other 2 bedrooms were, not anywhere near a bathroom. And it had been on the market for like 95 days. And we walked in and it was perfect for my client because they wanted that den, they wanted that office space. And I really truly believe if the agent had marketed that as a 2-bedroom den, they would have sold it way faster. Just because of what the situation was. We all know that a 3-bedroom usually sells faster, but in this case, I think they would have pulled that because it was close to the 55 plus community, and it really wasn't, you couldn't utilize it as a 3-bedroom. Most families would not have accepted it.
Well, and I think right now, especially during this time, we need to be creative because what worked before may not work right now, you know, and more people, how many, you know, everybody's probably at home. I did see Jason, I think, was at the office, bless his heart. He was there yesterday too, and stuff. But you know, we're sitting in our living rooms or our personal offices or our kitchens or wherever we are, and more of us may end up keeping that space and using it that way. So I think you're right, Jody.
Yeah.
I wish I had taken the luxury class I'm in. I lost a listing, a $700 and some $1,000 listing after 6 months. And of course, then the agent who sold it ended up selling it for the price that I told the kids they should have it at. But that's hard. That hurts, you know? And I felt like I had done a lot of marketing. But part of the class that I just took made me think a whole lot about who's the end user. Who are we marketing to? And we have the ability now with Command to make a flyer, if we're good at it, in a very short amount of time, and send those out and market to that group of people really easily and really specifically. And I think that that's awesome. Is there anybody on here who doesn't know the fishing story? Hasn't heard that whole thing, like about finding the fish? Everybody knows that? Okay. You don't know what I'm talking about, Jody? Yes, you.
There's a few hands up that don't know.
There's a lot.
Oh, okay. I didn't see any hands
I don't know.
tonight. I've got like 7 people with no faces. And
Tell us again, Donna. Tell us again.
Fish, tell me about it.
and Jason, who just looks smiley because it's not really him, and I thought he was laughing at me. No. So the whole idea is that the pool there's a whole lot of fish at the top, but the fish that you might need is way towards the bottom. And you have to find that fish that needs or wants what you have. And that's what we're talking about right now. So not everything on the surface is what we want. And sometimes you have to dig deep to get the business that you want. And hi, Dorothy. And so for me, a part of that marketing piece is the digging deep. And like I said, I'll sit there and raise your hand if when you're doing the entry for your listing, you start typing, you're like, oh, cabinets, added granite, blah, blah, blah. Like there's nothing creative about it. And then I'll read somebody else's and I'll think, that's really creative. We all know that quaint or great starter home could mean many things, right? So I think what I would say, I don't have any idea what time it is. It might be time to be done. I would challenge us all to think about our words and to choose them wisely and to maybe look at some listings if you don't have your own that haven't sold, and think about how you might switch it up to make the words or to appeal to a person. And if it's another KW agent, you guys, and they don't care, ask if you can market theirs. Ask if you can do a flyer to market their listing, because you might just pull the buyer for somebody else in the office for their listing. Jody, do they have to get written permission for that?
Yes, they just call the agent and ask.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's important to note that I built a clause library so that when I see great listing advertising, I put the part of it that I love into my clause library so I can go back and go, oh my gosh, I really love the verbiage they used for this.
Oh,
and
that's
then
great.
when I take a listing, I can go through my clause library and see what fits, road, rip off and duplicate. If it worked, if it sold quickly, I'm going to put that in my clause library for use in the future. And then another tool that everybody could use, because we're talking about words matter, is the language of sales. The new one starts May 6th. And I've taken it 3 times already. I always get something out of it. It's online. It's once a week for an hour. You get incredible worksheets that you do throughout the week. You get a partner to work on scripts throughout the week to utilize the tools that you've learned every week. Incredible class. I think it's 8 weeks, if I remember right. But language of sales and taking that, and I think right now it might be half price. I can't remember, but they're advertising it a lot. If you guys are getting emails from Chris Pollard every day,
Yes.
like I am,
Yep.
you will see it in the next day or two again being advertised. But one came out yesterday again. I urge you guys to take language of sales. It's a great, great tool.
Something else, you guys, I was thinking about this because Kim is on here. You know that he and I speak French, and Kim speaks like 5 languages, several of which I just all sound like gibberish to me. Do we have any other people on here who speak a second language fairly fluently? Besides vacation Spanish?
Anthony,
Anthony?
I can have a conversation in Tagalog, but don't know really.
In what?
Tagalog, Filipino language.
Oh, nice. So what if, one other fact, just so you guys know this. In the luxury class, international buyers account for a lot of our luxury market. Top state, Florida. Number 2, California. Number 3, Texas. Number 4, Arizona. We are ahead of New York and New Jersey in international buyers. That fascinated me. And clearly being close to Mexico makes a difference, in Latin America, right? But they're not all from Mexico. And so if you're fluent in another language and you want to market to that group, do your flyer in that language. You know, maybe you post it out there because, you know, you can tag what group you want. So, you know, Kim, especially with you, you know, you could do it since you're working a lot with the African community. You might be able to do a flyer in, you know, one of the many languages that you speak.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And recently, actually, I've been using that, and I got 11 buyers in
nice.
the last month. They
Yeah.
all get qualified, and I'm showing houses.
Fantastic.
He's
Well,
doing a
it's
lot with
important
first-time
to
home
know-
buyers. Sorry.
Yeah, and go into the My KW and put that in your profile. Because many of us, when we're searching for an agent, if we've got somebody from Germany or France or wherever that's a buyer that's relocating and we're looking for referral agents, we are looking for that language specifically, and you can search what agents speak what languages. So definitely update your profile in My KW so that it's out there and everybody knows what you do know.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
We just had a Francophone agent start a Facebook page for agents and they're all KW, right, Kim? I think we're all KW agents. I don't know, who speak French. And she's writing everything in French in the page, which is great practice.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, it's good practice. Yeah, yeah.
Jody, I have a question. What is with the language of sales? Is gonna be at TRR or the class?
Language of Sales is an online, it's a phone recording. You get on the phone. I don't know if they're doing Zoom as well now, but you typically just dial in every week at a certain time. You're on the line with 50, 60 other agents. You team up and you get your packet of information that you can download and or print once a week. And it's just a full book. But yeah, it's all per the phone. I don't know if they've incorporated Zoom into that or not, because it's always just been a phone call. And, you
So
know,
that's first
teaching
main-
inflection and all kinds of stuff, what questions to ask, how to lead them to the answer you're looking for. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
I need
It's a
it.
map
I need
coaching
it.
product.
And does it conflict with Bold Pivot?
No, it does not. I
No,
looked at
because
that.
it's maps coaching, so it would definitely not conflict.
Right.
Anthony, are you driving to like Texas or what? You've been in the car a long time.
Well, I went to drop off my daughter, and now I'm on my way to showing way on the east side. So I went way north, and now I'm way east.
Woohoo!
The language real estate, I took that with the parish team when they were still at KW. I remember sitting in on that class. That's a good class. Does anybody have any specific things? Dorothy, I see that you're there. I don't see a face, but I showed houses in Saddlebrook the other day. And it was to parents of other clients who are stranded here. They can't go back to Delaware. So what an odd market, right? Like to say, oh, mom and dad have been here for a while and now they might buy. What are you seeing up in Saddlebrook, Dorothy?
We're very busy. We just put 2 new listings on the market this morning. Lauren and Jim are out taking another listing this afternoon. I've had bronchitis for about 4 days, so I'm fortunate that I've been in and doing paperwork for everybody. So I think we're okay here, but that's us. You know, we just work constantly.
That's awesome.
We don't sit around and wait for it to come to us. We're looking for it all the time, the business. So, and Saddlebrook is a great place to live, and a lot of people are now buying by video.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you that don't know, Dorothy and her daughter Lauren and Lauren's husband Jim are a team that really, they live and work and specialize in Saddlebrook, and they're a great resource if you haven't sold in Saddlebrook or you want information or want to check out their website for their listings.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I was just, this morning, we listed a house that sold only last December. And some new things have changed in the house, mostly outside. And it's very pristine. But I didn't want to write it like it was written last December.
Oh.
So today I just literally wrote all about the interior and the updates, instead of talking about casual, pristine, and tried to go in a different direction and highlight the features instead of coming in with all those flowery words that the other realtor had done, because someone will say I copied it, you know. So we'll see how it goes. And then we have another listing that we've had listed for about 6 months, and it's finally been reduced to about $45,000, and we put it out new this morning. And what I did this time was I had the seller write her idea of how her house should be described.
That's a
And
great
then
idea.
I took her words and changed them a little bit, because I can't say this is the best house on the block. I mean, you know, so, but I did change it by using her definitions and her description of her home. And we'll see how that goes this time.
Hey, Dorothy,
Yeah.
since this is script practice, what is your script when a seller, you've been talking to her for a long time and the plan was to get it on the market, and now they're saying they're going to wait because they feel the market is shifting and it's dropping. What are you talking to them about? What does that sound like?
I have a note here to myself somewhere in my pile of paper. I tell them we know what the market is right now, but we don't know what will be happening in the fall, because a lot of people say, I'll wait till the fall,
Right.
when the snowbirds come back.
Right.
And we do know where we are at this point in the market, and that houses are selling now. So it's best to go with something you know at the present time. And that seems to be working. People
Right.
go,
I
oh,
love
you're
that.
right. We
Yeah.
can't predict the future.
If we did, we'd all be wealthy, and none of us would have lost houses back in the mid 2000s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a seller that pulled her house off the market the minute that the pandemic was announced and the stay at home. And yesterday we had a talk, and today we're putting her house back on the market because she
fantastic.
said I should wait till September, because the new construction that I want to buy will be ready in October. And I said, I think we better start right now. And she agreed. So we're going to put it back on the market today.
Excellent.
I think that's that's great verbiage. But we know what it is now.
Yes.
Most of us wake up every day during this time thinking, what's new this morning? You know? So Dorothy, I think that's really valuable to say we know what it is.
So I have a little board on my front porch because a lot of people drop things off inside my front porch. So I have a little board there that they can write things on. And this morning I wrote up there, we're going to take this one day at a time. So that's my philosophy today.
All right, you guys, I want to hear all of you tell me some special words. You can private message me. Tell me the words you might use. Get your thesaurus out if you don't own one. We have them online. and another thing to say besides great view. So, something like that, because I think that the words that we choose right now, especially with the command and our ability to market, that those, we have to be creative. We have to think outside the box. And I'm sorry that I don't do specific scripts. I appreciate that Jody kicked in and that Dorothy kicked in. But I think our words matter. And
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
I think it's important to remember that our words matter when we're dealing with the agent on the other side. Not just our clients, but the agent on the other side. You know, two agents that are conflicting and are having issues all the time is not benefiting either client in any way. So think about the words, and even though that agent on the other side is using words you're not fond of, just give it back with sugar and just say, you know what, I'm really hearing that you're frustrated. How can I make your day better? You know, get them back off that roller coaster that they're on, because we don't know what their issues are, and get them back on, hey, I'm here to help. Some of the best things, that words you can use are, you know, to benefit you and I, to help our clients best. So to benefit you and I. So get them into that mindset is very, very important. Or, you know, other words that you use with them is, you know, how can I help you help your clients best? You know, ask those questions and give them a present. I teach in my classes all the time, you know, I have a gift for you. I'm sending over a cure notice to help you help your client understand how contractually pertinent this next step is. And I call it a gift, and I let them know how it benefits them, because a lot of times they have a hard time getting their clients to act. And so I present it as a gift. So it's just the way that you're talking with them and presenting things to them to get them to make that move.
Dan, are you going to smell good when you get to the office, Dan? Yeah. Jody, those are the emails I write before I go to bed, and then I wake up in the morning and I take a deep breath and revisit how I'm going to.
When you're going to hit send.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I add one thing, Donna, and for everyone?
Yeah.
I'm excited because I do have two sellers that I'm working with to get their house listed down the road. And anyway, I'm excited when I get ready to type in MLS. And I just want to encourage everyone, no matter what you're writing, whether it's an ad, use your words to paint a picture. Exactly. And if you can just close your eyes and think about what you're going to say about that property, and you need to make it so visual that they don't even have to look at the picture, they can just look at your words, and keep it concise, but very descriptive.
I like that.
That's great thoughts. Yeah.
Awesome. Guys, well, I love the conversations to keep going. I got to end the call because we got to start another one. Thank you, Miss Donna, for being amazing and jumping on. Jody, always the amazing knowledge of an associate broker with so much to give, guys. This will be recorded. Go back and listen to it again. What you use, what you say, how you say, all count. So think before you act.
Guys.
Have a great day. Be well.
Thank you.